Yo, this is Salaam Remi, and you know I got soul, soul, soul.
All right, I got Soul here with Salaam Remi once again.
Yo, yo.
Want to start out talking about this movement, You Gotta Do It for the Culture.
Yep.
Just released a whole bunch of music kind of out of nowhere. Talk about what inspired that and what you were hoping to do with that.
Well, I guess a couple things inspired it. One is, having my label over the years and knowing that sometimes there's great music that needs to come out, but because of different aspects, you're waiting for the right time, the right way to release it, all types of different things. And I was working with Miguel this year, and we were recording, and I knew, his project wasn't going to come out till next year, this amount of time it takes to set it up and get it right, and by the time he finished the whole album, etc. But I was like, yo, let's just do something so we could take it and put out right away. When we put out Come Through and Chill, I was like, I felt so good about that I felt like, you know what, the way I feel about Come Through and Chill, it was better for me to just now pull together some music and just start releasing it and kind of put it together and say, this is for the culture, meaning that for the people who want to get it, they're actually able to get it without waiting for what would typically be a major label's release dates and schedules and when they go on the radio and all that other stuff. It's just really like there's people out here that want to get music, they're into music, and for me, it's like, rather than, like I said, waiting, just go for it. Let's just make this happen. So I'm setting up Do It For The Culture.club as a place where you can join the club. And every few months, I'm going to be putting up a lot of music and putting it on streaming services, but also on SoundCloud, etc., so that you can actually have it there. Because I feel like without me putting out more music, I can't complain about what's out.
Interesting.
And, that's it.
I want to talk to you about some of the artists you've been working with on your label. Of course, starting with Mack Wilds. He had one song in there, which were 11 Camouflage. You included in that batch.
Right.
But, he had Love in the 90s last year. We love that song. I think we had it in our top 10 songs of the year, so great record. We were hoping music would follow, but I know he's been getting back into acting. So talk about what's coming up for him.
Mac has some music that he's actually been working on while he's been doing TV. The issue was that basically, from the material that we had for the Love in the 90s, project that we worked on at the time, that he didn't have one weekday during the whole year to even move around, promote it, and do stuff. He's been doing Shots Fired, which he's the lead actor in the show. It's Now Lathan on Fox, where he plays the black cop who shoots the white teenager in Charlotte, which I'm sure is going to be a huge show and, topic of discussion. And then there's also The Breaks, which he'd already had come out top of the year as far as, the movie pilot show of it. So he shot a full season of that. So now, as both of those things are coming out, he's been working on some music. So I think he's going to put out, I wouldn't call it the album, probably a project soon, mixtape vibe of what he's been working on. And, see what it is. And I had Camouflage, which is a song I always love. And I'm always on my 90s vibe because I'm an older 90s head. So I was just like, yo, let me throw this on here. It's my record, featuring you and Nitty Scott.
What's the process been like? I guess I can't say breaking him because he's been, known as an actor, but establishing him as an artist. I know he does the hip hop side of things and he sings too. What's the give and take there and really trying to put him on and make him blow up, overall? I
think it's consistency. I mean, more than anything else, there's no artist that's out here now who's actually supposedly blown up and then actually, not actually come back with music consistently. So for everything that we have now, our top artists now consistently give you music and consistently feed you with visuals and feed you with everything else. So I think that in general for Mac, it's just a time to kind of come back with music back to back. I mean, I would have loved to have followed up New York, A Love Story, right away. But it just took time to get the music right and pull it together. And then also he's a visual artist and an actor, and as we know with Jamie Foxx, it was kind of like he'd been doing records for years, but it took the Ray and everything else. It was Jennifer Lopez as an actress. Not that any of them are the same talent, but, Jennifer Lopez, Selena, the right record, the right timing to kind of get them all the way there. And both sides benefit. I feel like his music side helped propel him back into a great space for his acting side as well because it kept his visibility up.
Interesting. So an artist I talked to you about off camera, who you had her last time, was Jordan Sparks right now. We loved her record, They Don't Give, one of our favorites also from last year. Right. We were just hoping that album would be picked up more by fans and they would check it out more. It was a really great record. Talk about that record a little bit.
About They Don't Give Her, the whole album.
Sorry.
No, I mean, for me, it's a thing where I met Jordan Sparks when I was doing Sparkle, which once again, she's a known artist that was on the pop level with no air, hit some R&B people, but it was really she was known as a pop level and maintained that and won American Idol at 17 or whatever. I think she was 16 or 17. So that was able to be there, and then I met her when she was starring in Sparkle. So for me, it was a thing where I saw something that maybe RCA, with Jive had morphed into RCA, so she kind of got inherited. And I saw something that I felt like musically is still missing in what's going on. And, I'm not afraid to put my neck out and make sure that artists who need to get supported or things that I feel I'm passionate about are great and stand up. So I'm proud of her overall album. And, They Don't Give is something that, we did with Babyface, that anyone who hears it, whether it's last year or next year, 10 years from now, they have to feel an emotion. Because we're packing our music with emotions in the real, proper records. And it's just timing.
Right.
More than anything else, it's timing. It's when the time that everyone now decides they want to take the time and look at it. And even though I wanted a lot more R&B fans to kind of tap into that, or more pop fans to also adapt to it, I just don't know if it was the right time for them to do so. So, no regrets. It's always moving forward and feeling like, we did the right things for the right reasons, and it's quality with quality people. Good music, good people. That's what I'm about.
So you've got this other artist, Lipstick Gypsy, the duo. They had the awesome record Infatuation last year. We love that one too. And you're helping to help them emerge now as artists. What's the process like, in 2016 of helping an artist, break out, I guess you could say?
It's a lot goes into it. I mean, first things first is the music. The music is 1,000% the most important thing. Right now we have a lot of the Instagram generation that is about, who's dating who fell down the stairs next to who snapped on who, and even a couple of our biggest artists in the R&B side the last few years have really blown up by reality shows. Right. And within saying that, that's cool, and I'm not mad at the people that do that. But right now, I'm just all about the music. That's what I do best. That's what I focus on. So Lipstick Gypsy had Infatuation and The Cure that were out, had some more songs, and they've been working on more stuff. And Chris is a great producer, and pretty much I've just been giving them guidance to do what they do best. And John is developing over this past year, and you'll see more music from them.
It's no secret that R&B is not in the mainstream like it once was. Hip hop has kind of emerged as the popular genre right now. So, just thinking of an artist you've worked with through the years, Nas. Hip hop artist was big in the '90s and still huge today. Do you think, looking at Nas, there's anything that R&B artists can learn from him of how to maintain that level of success through the years? Because a lot of '90s R&B artists have faded. Do you think it has to do more with the genre, or anything they can do differently that you've seen?
I mean, faded is kind of like hard to describe, because when I turn around and look on my Instagram, a lot of people are working. They're constantly performing and everything else. Whether your record is platinum this week or now people don't know where to get it. Once the CD buying audience of R&B held stuff together, and you had times when Anthony Hamilton might outsell CeeLo on albums, but CeeLo was have bigger singles because he was doing Gnarls Barkley and other stuff. So at the end of the day, it's really like, who's going to super serve their audience? Yeah, we did Anthony Hamilton, Amen, and he toured the country with him and Fantasia. Maybe some people didn't hear the record, but the people who were supposed to hear it did hear it. Right. So I think it's just pocketed right now, and as long as you're continuing to make great product, then every pocket that's for you is going to win. And that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to continue to feed the people that want the music that I'm making. Keep putting that music out there. And I wanted to give them an option of where to go to get it from me, right. Not necessarily waiting for X label to serve it to them.
I think one of your biggest talents that we've noticed is you're able to craft your production to the artist. It's not like you immediately know it's a Salaam Remi production when you hear it, but it's like when you read the credits, it's like, oh, wow, he fit that production to that artist. And I think that's amazing, because a lot of times you just hear tailor, production that's just thrown at an artist. Right. It's not made for them. So how are you able to do that so well?
Listening before I talk, you know what I'm saying? I ask questions before I actually start to prepare something for the artist. I think everyone has a story to tell, and part of what I do is help artists find their voice, not only their actual vocal voice, but their writing voice. Every artist that I work with that has had those records that everyone talks about, they're also writers, and they're great writers. And I like to say I helped support whatever their writing was so that people heard the song clearly. And I recorded it and mixed it in a way where the song came across even more importantly than my production or sometimes even the artist's name. The song is the key at all points. You know what I'm saying?
You know, you've been at this since the mid '90s. You've had success for over 2
80s.
decades now, since the '80s. Okay.
86, 30 years.
Wow. So what is it that you've been able to do to remain at the peak? I mean, we've seen a lot of producers. We don't really hear from them as much anymore who we loved in the '90s, even the 2000s. So what is it with you that's made you been able to still be here and at the top of your game?
I'm always looking for the new talent. That's really where it is. Like, there's somebody that I haven't met yet who's going to continue to make what I do relevant. Somebody who's maybe born in the mid '90s, which a lot of my artists are born, after I was already professionally producing. And those artists will become the artists that everyone tomorrow will be looking for. So for me, it's like, it's just looking for people who are coming up, who's the next person, all the time.
There was this record you produced a few years back. We hadn't had a chance to talk to you about it. Luke James, Make Love to Me. Neo wrote it. That was one of our favorite records. I think it was 2012, 2013. And we were just a little mad that it didn't, they didn't really push it more than they did. Like, we thought that was like the one for Luke James. And just talk about that record a little bit and with that one, how you felt about that song.
Well, really with the song, because Neo and I have great chemistry. He's a great writer. Every time I get with Neo, we come up with 5 or 6 records in a couple of days. And sometimes those songs end up other places. Neo originally had the record, and I was like, Neo, this is your record. I'm telling you, that's it. And somehow, I know I got blamed for it, but somehow Luke James cut it. Then I got a call, hey, Luke James cut this Neo record. We're going to do it, which I was happy for Luke, who I'd known for some time, to be cutting the record and to be able to do it. But, Luke was also on a label that was more pop focused.
Right.
And looking for the huge record. And sometimes the huge record, they don't realize what it means to the people on the ground level. And they didn't see what I knew it was and what we all know it is. So anyone who discovers Luke James' Make Love to Me will most likely have a moment while they're listening to it. And that's all I can do. Continue to plant the great seeds. Some will be trees, some will be plants, some will be bushes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some will bear fruit, some will just have leaves, some are for the season. But, my constant flow is to keep putting out quality and letting quality get into the right hands and the right people. And that's why I'm doing Do It for the Culture. The people that would be a part of this project, the Sex All Summer project is great R&B for anyone who listens to R&B. So they'll totally be in it and be able to figure out what's what. And I think that the same thing with the Champagne Flutes, Terry Walker, who's the vocalist on that from London, people have heard her doing R&B stuff before, but this is a whole nother level that the same set of people are going to love.
Right.
So that's where I'm at.
And I guess just finally, who have you have left to work with that you'd like to, that you haven't had a chance to produce for yet?
I don't know. Like I'm always like with divine hands, different people come in front of me, and it's there. I don't have a direct artist that I can think of at this point that I would say I want to produce this person. Like this, whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. And honestly, I feel like I haven't met them yet. The next legend in the making is walking down the street somewhere, looking for their opportunity. Right. And when the amount of artists that I've worked with thus far, there's no way I could ask for this amount of talent to come to me. Right. From the Fugees to Jazmine to Miguel to Amy to whoever it is. Like, I think there's enormous talent out there, and this is what you'll be able to hear from me. Just whatever I hear, if I hear something in someone and it makes a big difference, then that's what you're going to get.
I guess I almost forgot to mention Amy Winehouse. I mean, here we are a few years later, since her passing, and I feel like the void is still there. She was just, changing the sound on her own, and you had a big hand in that. Talk about, what that loss means still to this day for the industry.
Well, I can't even call the loss for the industry. I'll just say that her inspiration still has inspired the people who are here today. And, she was inspiring. She's inspired by people who passed before she came, and there will be people who come after she's, passed for 5 years now. I meet artists now that, like, I'm really so into her stuff. And they were still kids when she even passed. So I just feel like everything just flows through, and she was a part of a great legacy as far as that of singer-songwriters who actually came and made their mark. And in her short time here, she really made a big difference. So that's what will be here. And the song Stand Up. And like I said, the inspiration, somebody's going to write. You know, if you talk to an Adele or a Sam Smith, they love her first album, Frank. And if I talk to brand new artists now, they say the same. So this is just paying it forward by continuing to create a community of great musicians who do great music.
Dope. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just like to add, do it for the culture. I like everybody on your platform to take time to listen to it. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you think is great. That's why I'm putting it out there. I want people to tell me, hey, we really like this song. Hey, we really like this groove. Let's cultivate a community where, the music is forefront and not necessarily the foolery.